welcome back to the Moore Army podcast for another episode. Welcome back to this Thursday lunchtime. I'm actually recording this podcast, which is kind of strange considering I normally record the podcast on a Thursday morning. But hey, I'm here anyway, it's the most important thing. But yes, I've got some interesting things I want to talk about today on the podcast. Also got more of your questions to answer. And I've got a very, 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 very interesting jackass of the week this week. But yeah, it's just reading through some of the stories this morning and flicking through some of the news stories as well. And it was kind of like, what the hell's going on in this world this last week or so? More and more crap just seems to be feeding out every week. But I've got some good ones to talk about today. But anyway, yes, I just want to say good morning, good afternoon, or good evening whenever you're listening to me here on this podcast. It's a Thursday, my favourite day of the week, as you all know. But yeah, it's been a busy old morning today. I got up this morning at 7 a.m, got my morning coffee, woke up Mr. Lewis for his school, got him up, got him off to school, another coffee, saying, right, gotta get down here and get this podcast recorded. And then, just as I'm about to sit down and record a podcast, you open up your laptop, next minute, boom, loads of stuff coming in from work and other things coming on. So it was kind of like, right, podcast will wait for an hour or two. I'm only getting around to do it now. So, and a lot of you have been emailing me over the last couple of days as well, asking me where the hell all these vlogs have been I've been recording recently. I'm going to be dropping quite a few today, actually, because I've just been sitting here this morning, finished editing one before I push record here on the podcast, so stay tuned for the vlogs coming up. Got some vlogs that I've recorded a while back, and I got more that I recorded recently, so stay tuned. They are definitely coming before the end of today, or maybe one or two drop today, and a few more over the weekend. But anyway, enough of me babbling on today. Before I get into anywhere else in this podcast, I just want to obviously get the usual stuff out of the way. If you're new to the Moore Army podcast, you know how to get in touch with us by now. Sorry, if you're new to the podcast, I'll tell you how to get in touch with the program. But if you're a regular listener, you obviously know all this. But as you all know, I like to get this out of the way every week. If you are new to the podcast, hello. No matter where you're listening to us from, whether it be on YouTube, hi. I'm going to drop a like in this video and subscribe to it. Appreciate it. Subscribe to the channel. If you're listening to us on TuneIn Radio, Apple Music, Spotify, wherever, or even on Facebook or one of the social media links, hi, hello. But if you do want to send me in a question or anything out there for the future episodes, you can get in touch with me by the following methods, which is Facebook, which go on to search Moore Army YouTube channel on Facebook, drop a like, send us a message in there, I would appreciate it. Instagram, which is official Matthew Moore on Instagram. The email address, which is moorearmypodcast@yahoo.com. And also, if you want to go on to the Moore Army website, which you can get all your Moore Army merch from the YouTube channel, the podcast, and more. And also, you can check out all loads of videos. You can check out all our social media posts in a media hub, which you can check out all the photos and videos and stuff on social media. And more, it's moorearmy.co.uk. Also, it was brought to my attention about a week or two ago that we may be actually posting our videos or YouTube vlogs on another platform. I know anybody who watches me on YouTube regularly, it's Moore Army YouTube channel. We can watch all our thousands of videos over the last 7 years. You can go and watch all of them. Subscribe to the channel, guys. I would appreciate it. But we're looking into putting the vlogs on other platforms as well. Had a few ideas dropped at me, which I've been looking at yesterday. So stay tuned, because we could be jumping on another platform very, very soon. But yes, that's how you can get in touch with me. Guys, I just want to, before we went down to the subjects of today, say thank you to anyone who tuned into the anniversary episode this past Tuesday. If you haven't listened to it already, you can go back and check it out. We got a load of listens. I'm really, really happy with the figures. On Spotify, Apple Music, TuneIn. I got more followers on TuneIn, which is great. If you want to, obviously, go and if you're listening to us on one of those platforms now, add us to your favourites, I would appreciate it. But yes, guys, the listening numbers are in from last Tuesday. I was looking at the figures, and they're doing really, really well. So thank you to everybody who participated in the podcast, whether you sent in an email or a DM on Instagram or whatever it was. Thank you so much for getting in touch with me. I do appreciate it. The anniversary episode's still available to go back and listen to if you want to go and listen to it. Now you can. So thank you everybody who tuned in, took the time out of your day, and I did spend Tuesday night for a little bit after I got back from football to go through a lot of more of your messages and reply to some of you guys on the social medias and also on the email. So thank you. I do appreciate all your messages. It means a lot to me. So, but yes, that was a good episode. You want to go back and listen to it, you certainly can on the podcast. But anyway, yes, it's Thursday. It's my favourite day of the week. Here on the podcast, it's Jackass of the Week. It's also my favourite day of the week, right? You all know by now, guys, Thursday's my beer day, where I have a few beers, switch off from the world and have a little bit of fun to myself and sort of chill out. And Tony sometimes calls around, we'll have a few beers and a wee chat and whatever else. And it's just my wee day to switch off from the world, which is great. But I'm looking forward to that later on today. But on today's episode, I've got some nice, good, interesting stuff that I want to talk about. I've been talking about recently about your man, is it Daniel, is it Khalife, or whatever his name is, the guy who escaped from Wandsworth Prison. We were talking about him about 2 weeks ago on the podcast. I want to talk about him. Drivers out there, more news on new drivers out there about new anti-brake cameras coming out to try and hit more drivers with fines. Also, I've seen some funny news about politician Diane Abbott, who is just completely bonkers. I've also got some news on the returning program, 90s classic program, Gladiators. Anybody out there who used to love Gladiators, we're going to talk about that on the podcast today as well. And I'm also going to be answering some of your questions, as I always do here on the podcast. I'm just sort of sitting here this morning, guys. I've had 2 coffees already, and I'm feeling just a wee bit groggy. I need to go and get myself maybe another coffee and try and give myself a shake, because I'm feeling a bit, I don't know, I just got up this morning and I was feeling a bit tired and a bit groggy, and, you know, I was in bed at a reasonable hour last night. It's just, I don't know what's wrong with me today. I just need to give myself a good shake. But yes, let's get into some of the stuff that we're going to talk about on the podcast today. But first of all, what have I been up to since the last time I spoke to you, as I always like to talk about. Last Tuesday night, it was a good night. Well, Tuesday day started off really, really good, because I was talking on the podcast with you guys in the morning. I went out in the afternoon, or lunchtime-ish, with Mum and Dad. Went out and had a great lunch in Belfast. I'd done a bit of vlogging when I was out as well. Took Mum and Dad up to our football club's social club restaurant, in Belfast. Took them up for a bite to eat, and then took them out for a wee coffee and all afterwards. Had some good time with Mum and Dad. It was a good wee day, so it was actually. And then I went straight from there to football, because I had to go and do some interviews and wee bits and pieces as well, because our football club has just recently made a big announcement in a new community project that they've set up for the football club, trying to go in more into the community, help out like young kids and people who want to be involved in any aspect of sport. Actually, funny enough, today the interview, one of the interviews I conducted about it is actually dropping today at 5 o'clock. It'll probably be out now by the time you listen to this podcast. I interviewed 3 players who are now coaching they're doing like coaching classes for younger kids from all different backgrounds and different parts of the community, whether it be from, you know, community centres, schools, things like that. There, we're trying to get more people involved. Basically, the project is set up not just for football aspect of it, just basically to make our whole club like a place you can come to and bring your family, and, you know, even on match day you can come along with your family, and you're always welcome, no matter where you come from, what background you come from, what walk of life you come from. No matter where you come from in the world, you're always welcome at our stadium. We're also doing a bit more community work as well, so it's a big announcement from the club that they announced there end of last week, or start of this week maybe. So I went up there the other night to do some interviews with some of the coaches and some people behind the scenes. So those interviews will be dropping today. So if you want to go to Harnham with Welders social media pages and the website, you can go and check out all the interviews and stuff like that there. But I conducted with the players, which is great. But yeah, I was up there on Tuesday night. Didn't get home till late actually on Tuesday night, because I was just up there, and by the time I got everything sorted, because I had to do interviews with the under 18s manager as well. It was just one of those nights where it was just like interview after interview after interview, and it was great. So, and yesterday was another one of those days, guys, where it's just like one thing after another. As I said to you in the podcast the other day, we're in the middle of sorting our house out at the minute. I am Well, Lewis's room's on the verge of nearly being done. Obviously, all the walls stripped, painting done. We just need to get 2 of his walls papered and then get his new furniture and all put into his room. And it'll be his room done. Then we're moving into Madam's room. So that'll be fun. And then we got to go back into my room and get that finished too. It's just a whole big thing. So I'm trying to balance that between that and work and football and podcasting and YouTubing. And it's just, days are just going in so quick. So they are. So, but here, on a positive note, I'm off to see that, well, Liverpool play today. We're doing a live reaction video for the YouTube channel today as well, Lewis and I, in a couple of hours' time. Before, obviously, I go out later on tonight and have a couple of beers in the house and stuff like that after the game. Liverpool kick off very, very early today. I think it's 5:45 to kick off tonight, which is strange, but this is the Europa League football for you this season. But this Sunday, I am back on my travels again to Liverpool to watch Liverpool versus West Ham at Anfield this Sunday. And then this Monday night, I'm off to a little small theatre in Liverpool to watch one of my favourite actors, comedians of my generation growing up, Adrian Edmondson, who was part of the double act with Rick Mail and Bottom, The Young Ones, and things like that. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to going to that. I'm actually in the front row centre for that, and I actually get to meet him as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing him on Monday night, because I've been to see him once or twice live on stage before, doing the Bottom shows live here in Northern Ireland, but I've never actually seen him up close. I came close to meeting him a few years ago, but it never actually happened. I met Rick. I think I've told a story about Rick on this podcast before. Rick Mail, who unfortunately passed away in 2014. But this Monday I get to see Ed up front, up close, right in front of me, and I get a signed copy of his book as well, which I'm really looking forward to. So, got a really good weekend coming ahead of me as well. I got football on Saturday, back to the ice hockey Saturday night as well, the Belfast Giants. Lewis and I's first competitive game for the season. We're heading back this Saturday night straight after football. So, we'll go football Saturday, ice hockey Saturday night. I'm away to the airport Sunday morning, Liverpool game Sunday afternoon. I'm just looking forward to got a whole lot of things lined up this weekend. So, and I got fitty wetting to do as well. I've got a couple of vlogs. Guys, I know I keep saying about this bloody London vlog, but I keep forgetting to put it up. I keep forgetting to get it finished and get it out there from last July. I've also got a special video that Lewis and I recorded. We were allowed access to go around and show the new, the refit from the Liverpool store in Liverpool 1. We've done a wee vlog in there as well. I've done vlogs from, oh my goodness me, so many over the last couple of weeks. So I'm going to try and spend today for a couple of hours before the Liverpool match starts to get this done and get it out as quick as I can, because I got some good vlogs coming up this weekend, especially when I'm in Liverpool. So, and also, yes, I know we're going to be talking about Gladiators from the 90s, but listen to this here. On this Monday morning, before I head off the Ed show on Monday night, I'm actually planning, that's right, I'm planning on doing a trip to an iconic place in Liverpool. Now, I've never been there before. A lot of you people out there who watch the old television show, which was recently brought back there on the STV app on, online, the online streaming service STV, old TV program from back in the day, which was made in Liverpool, Brookside, which was recently brought back by popular demand. It's been really popular recently. There's actually a petition online to maybe bring it back for a series or two to try and bring it back. I'll be heading this Monday morning to the iconic street of Brookside Close, and I'm going to be doing a vlog in the street as well. So I'm looking forward to getting there on Monday, because it's the Liverpool game on Sunday. I thought, right, I'll get up Monday morning, I'll get myself some breakfast at the hotel, or my apartment I'm staying at, sorry, and then I'll head down the road. There's it's a 10, I think I worked it out in the map the other night, it was like a 10 or 12 minute bus journey from the city centre to Brookside Close. I'm going to be heading there. I can't wait to get there, to get photographs and videos of that iconic street. There's probably a lot of you out there, younger ones who listen to me now and going, what the fuck is he on about Brookside Close? Go and watch it. It's on STV. You can watch episodes of it on YouTube as well, but it's an iconic TV programme. It's a historic TV programme. It was a groundbreaking programme. It was a lot of firsts that happened on British television, and soaps happened on Brookside. If you don't believe me, go and research it and have a look at it. It came out in 1981 and it ended in 2003. 20 years ago it ended. And it was an iconic programme. I actually ran into one of the main actors of it in Liverpool years ago, but I never actually managed to get a photograph with him. But a lot of the people from that programme have moved on to become bigger stars. Like, for example, if you ever watched The Royal Family in the programme on BBC in the UK, Ricky Tompkinson, the girl who plays his wife, they were husband and wife also in Brookside before they'd done The Royal Family. Everybody knows who Ricky Tompkinson is. He's a famous comedian actor. He's just a fantastic overall performer. A lot of names have left that and went on to become bigger stars. So anybody who doesn't know what Brookside is, go and check it out. I'm hoping to head to the Brookside Street this coming Monday. I can't wait to get there. So we'll just have to see how it goes. So I'll be in bed early on Sunday night, because after the Liverpool game it ends about 4 o'clock. Head into the city, get my dinner, go out for a nice wee walk that night, as I always like to do. Clear the head, enjoy myself, get a good night's sleep, get up Monday and head to Brookside, and then meet Adrian Emerson all in the same day. I can't wait to Monday. Plus I'm looking forward to Sunday as well for the Liverpool game. Anyway, yes, that's what I'm going to be up to this weekend, guys. So stay tuned for plenty of vlogs coming from Liverpool over the weekend. Moving on, let's get into some of the stories today I want to chat about quickly here on the podcast. This guy, Daniel, is a Calif, I can't even pronounce his name, who escaped from prison. I talked about, I think it was last week, he escaped from Wandsworth Prison. The former soldier who escaped from the prison. I said I was going to keep a close eye on this, and I have. There's a story that came out, actually I was reading here this morning. I've got it here in front of me. It was released this morning, actually. It says, former soldier has pleaded not guilty to escaping from Wandsworth Prison in London. Not guilty. He did escape. He escaped. He taped himself to the bottom of a fucking truck. He tipped himself out. He is accused of escaping from lawful custody after allegedly breaking out on the 6th of September after spending 4 days on the run. 21-year-old appeared in court by video link, wearing a bright blue and yellow sweatshirt. Not that I really wanted to know about that. But he's now pleading guilty about this, saying he was wrongfully accused and wrongfully held in custody. And he's pleaded not guilty. He's not guilty he said he's not guilty for escaping. He did escape. He tipped himself to the bottom of a fucking lorry and was brought out in the street, and he was on the run for 4 days. I don't understand it. I really, really don't. It's strange. It says here also he'll be back at the Old Bailey on the 13th of October, due to stand trial in Woolwich Crown Court on the 13th of November. Like, the reason I want to talk about this today as well is because the fact that he's pleading guilty for not escaping, for pleading not guilty for escaping, but he did escape, baffles me. Bit of a strange one, that, guys, but I'll try and keep an ROE on it here. But what I want to talk about today is because a lot of you guys get in touch with me about, I was talking about obviously like driving things, all these new rules about driving. Like I talked about it recently there about people with, what was it, hay fever. There was new rules for people. A lot of you guys contact me about driving, about these new laws, and a lot of you have actually been asked me for my views on the rules that Wales brought in. I don't understand this. See your man Mark Drakeford in Wales, he's an absolute balloonhead. He brought in rules that the 20 mile an hour speed limit in Wales. Don't understand it. Don't understand the motive behind it, the method behind it, but he's brought this out. But you guys always talk to me about, different rules of the road and stuff like that, and ask me my views on this and that. But this new thing came out today. It's called a new anti-braking camera. Should be rolled out across the UK to slap drivers with more fines for people who are trying to brake before they head towards speed cameras. Now, funny enough, I was talking about this on our team bus a few weeks ago, as we were heading to our away game in Londonderry, or Derry, whatever you want to call it, a few weeks ago, and we saw one of the speed camera lorry things, or buses, or not buses, sorry, I'm talking crap now, one of the wee van things they have. And I was just talking to one of the boys in the bus about it, and I was saying, they used to be crafty, where they used to hide behind hedges and hide behind walls and try and catch you out. But I heard and read recently that apparently they're not allowed to do that anymore. But these are now, there's a new thing coming out now. It says warning drivers across the UK roads could be soon equipped with a new special speed camera that can detect harsh braking. So if you're going along a certain speed and you need to hit your brake really quick to try and get caught, apparently this camera is going to pick you up. It's getting to, okay, you look at it in two ways, right? Look at it in two ways. It's obviously trying to protect people from avoiding car crashes and injuries and things like that, which is completely understandable. roads need to be safe as possible. But fuck me, it's getting to the point now where you can't even drive your car at a certain speed. You can't do a certain like there's a part on a road that always baffles me. It's when you're coming from Belfast into Hollywood here in Northern Ireland. There's a part of it where you're coming along the road through Hollywood, or someone coming in towards Hollywood, and you're doing like 60, and you have to brake so quickly because it automatically drops to 40 within like a couple of hundred yards. And a lot of drivers sort of don't realise that and switch off. And I've noticed it a few times, even like in the car with my dad and stuff. He's like, why the fuck did they do that? Drop it from 60 to 40 in such a short space of time. Like a short like distance. You know, it baffles him, and it baffles me too as well. It says also in this article here as well, we're reading this morning, oftentimes when drivers are faced with a speed camera, they will brake suddenly before the camera to abide by the rules and avoid getting snapped. One person has driven past the speed cameras, they may put their foot down and start to accelerate again after they see the speed camera. So this has now been brought in to try and avoid all that. So what's your views on it, guys, about these new anti-brake cameras? Do you think it's a load of bullshit? Do you think it's a good thing for the roads? Get in touch with me and let me know. I'd love to hear from you. I really, really would love to hear from you. This woman, I don't even want to talk about this woman today. This politician, Diane Abbott, who's recently left the Labour Party. And I'm going to be totally honest about this. This woman is as mad as a bucket of frogs. This woman is bonkers. When she talks, she makes no sense. She's like fucking Sleepy Joe Biden. Did you see him actually yesterday when he was coming on the stage? He bumped into a flag and fell over his arse again. Oh, that old man needs to be fucking taken away somewhere. And he's also put in new things yesterday. Or was it yesterday, the day before now? They're offering more free COVID tests and they're trying to bring in masks again over the winter. Oh, don't even get me started on that COVID shit again with Sleepy Joe. But Diane Abbott is as mad as a bucket of frogs. Some of the stuff that she comes off with doesn't make any sense. She's just full of nonsense. The girl was recently removed from the Labour Party. I think she's either left or she's removed from the Labour Party. But now she's going to be going to this trial thing about, you know, the whole situation with the Labour Party, etc., etc. And she's turned around now and come off with the most stupidest comment that I've ever heard. Like, guys, I'm not racist. I don't care where you're from. I've said this before. What colour you are, what country you're from, I don't give a shit. Everybody's entitled to live their own life freely and be themselves. You know, everybody has their own opinions. But this woman is fucking bonkers. She's turned around and says, when she goes to this trial thing, she's not going to get a fair trial because she's black. And I looked at that and read it and watched the news report, and I was just like, this woman is as bonkers as anything. Go on to YouTube, guys, and watch some of her speeches. If you can make it out half of what I can, then you're obviously a lot smarter than me. This woman is nuts. Some of the stuff that she comes off with is just, I don't understand how she's in politics. I really, really don't. I really, 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 really don't. Saying that she's not going to get a fair trial because, she's black. I saw a funny. I was watching one of the news reports. I was just flicking through YouTube there about it. I just come up last night actually, and Jim Davison, you probably all know him from being a comedian back in the day. He came off with a cracking joke over what was he says to her, and I'm trying to remember. He says, I know you're two egg boxes short of a supermarket or something like that, he said, and I always say she's a few fries short of a Happy Meal, a few screw looses in there. So she is, but guys, honestly, Diane Abbott is just bonkers. If you want to go and, she's as mad as like Boris Johnson. Like even during the COVID shite and all too as well, the amount of crap that she was coming up with. Honestly, if you don't know who she is, go onto YouTube and find some of her videos and laugh at her. I don't encourage people to laugh at people, but you know what I'm saying? It's just some of the stuff. It's like Sleepy Joe when he talks. You look at it and go, what did he just say? What? Who? Why? What? Don't. Absolutely. The woman is wired to the moon. So she is. She is wired to the moon. Most politicians are. That's why I don't vote. And I've always said it. I don't vote because of it. Like when politicians, election time come around, and they always come around my door, I open the door to them and they go, oh, you should vote for this party. I go, I don't vote. Sorry. And I've had plenty of them telling me, why don't you vote? Because you don't do nothing for me. So But now I'm going to obviously get people who do vote are going to obviously get, probably listening to this now and going, well, Matthew, you need to have your say, you have to have a vote, and I just don't get involved in it. I just don't. Simple. I'm just telling you straight. But this woman, like, saying she's not going to get a fair trial because of her skin colour is ridiculous. It's ludicrous. It's like this whole thing with Russell Brand. I mean, we talked about that in Tuesday's podcast. I mean, Russell Brand is getting slated by the media and people on social media. And again, I saw a report there yesterday saying that where's the old traditional thing, as I talked about in Tuesday's podcast, innocent until proven guilty. Nowadays, it just seems to be one accusation, boom, you're automatically guilty, you're slated, you're cancelled, you're cut out, game over, bye-bye, see you later. And that's true. But again, let's obviously see what happens with Russell Brand. Russell Brand's getting slated. I was looking on, was it Instagram or was it Facebook? I can't remember. Not on Twitter, because I don't go on them fucking lunatics on there, as we talked about on Tuesday. No, some of the comments I've seen about it. Now, I don't know why the guy's innocent or not, or guilty, whatever. I give my opinion on it on Tuesday. I always thought he was a bit of a weird cat, bit of just basically beats his own drum, bit of a free spirit. And I said to it on Tuesday, guys, if he is guilty and there's hard evidence there to prove that he did do what he's been accused of, then certainly, like anybody else, whether you're a celebrity or a normal Joe Blogs down the street, if you're caught doing something wrong that you should be doing, you'll be punished for it. But this is the way the world is now. You know, automatically the mainstream media and social media people are just automatically slating you. And I saw a person making a comment yesterday saying, if you have followers and they love you, they'll believe you. If people out there who don't like you, they'll automatically slate you, cancel you, bury you, no matter what. And it's never going to go away. Even if you are proven innocent, no matter what, there'll always be people out there nowadays who love to get involved and love stirring the pot and go, I don't think he or she's guilty or innocent, sorry. I think they're just guilty. I don't like him. I don't like him, or I don't like her. And that's just the way the world is right now. That's true. Listen, I've had people on at me saying to me, oh, Matthew, you're this, you're that, you don't do this right, you know, you posted this on social media, like I talked about in Tuesday's podcast, you know, you done this, you done that. You know, at the end of the day, there's a lot of sad people out there, and there's a lot of people out there who automatically push the button where it's like they just slate you right away. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens with your man Russell Brand over the next few months, whether it's true or not, I don't know. But in closing, about your woman Diane Abbott, she's mad. She's absolutely, and some of the comments she's come off with about politics, and some of her speeches in Parliament are just, you just sort of look at it and go, how is she in politics? Was she let out of the Looney House today down the road there, or what? Or is she on day release? You know, but guys, honestly, if you don't know who she is, go and check it out. You'll just laugh. Some of the stuff she comes off with just does not make any sense at all. Really, it doesn't. Moving on. Guys, classic TV programme from back in the 90s, Gladiators, is due to smash back onto our screens again very, very soon. I was reading this morning, the football commentator Guy Mowbray is going to be calling the action. Now, it's been moved from ITV over to BBC One this year, which I think is a bad move for the ITV, to be honest with you. I think the ITV should bring it back the way it was. Gladiators is one of them iconic programmes that I used to watch growing up as a child every Saturday evening. I used to love Gladiators. You know, anybody who grew up in the 90s watched Gladiators. You know, like all the girls used to love the guys, you know, with their big muscles and their good, handsome looks and all. And then us boys used to love the girls, the likes of Jet and Lightning and all them girls back in the day. And, you know, it was always it was recorded in Birmingham, and it was shown every Saturday night. And it was just one of those family programs that brought families together. You know, I always look at those programs, them iconic programs from the 90s, the likes of that, and Saturday night programs on ITV as well, the likes of Blind Date and You Bet, and all those programs and game shows that used to be on the Saturday night. And then on BBC you had the likes of Noel's House Party, and all those different iconic programs, just to name a few, throughout the 90s, and it's due to come back onto our screens very, very soon. Now, it is going on to BBC One this time, so obviously it might look a bit different compared to what it did on ITV. Now, I personally will give it a chance to see what it's like. I don't think it's going to be as good as the original, but that's just my opinion on it. Just as I was looking at that there, I was flicking through some old programs. I was looking at, when I was reading this wee story the other day about who was doing the commentating for it, because you used to get, what was it? Was it John Anderson used to do the commentating, or was he the referee? I can't remember. The famous referee used to go, "Gladiators, ready, 3, 2, 1," blew the whistle, and everybody, some of the iconic moments of the 90s back then. And I never understood why they ever cancelled that programme, but it's due to come back onto our screens very, very soon. And it's going to be coming to BBC. I'm going to give it a chance to see if it's any good, the remake of it. And if it's good, I'll watch it. But the original, you can't beat the original. Like, them iconic programmes from the 90s were just, oh wow, just so groundbreaking. And some of the stuff that you used to do, I used to watch so many of those programmes at weekends. There's another one I was watching actually on YouTube the other week from the 90s. I know you ones that there probably remember it, but the Krypton Factor, that was another one I used to watch when I was a kid. And all the old programmes you still see this day on Sky, sometimes on repeat, like Bruce Forsyth's, his shows, and my God, Michael Barrymore, Strike It Lucky, and all them just them iconic programmes that used to be on back in the day. And you don't see really shows like that anymore. Like, they brought back one recently, Supermarket Sweep, that used to be on ITV in the mornings. It was an old one. I watched some of the new ones and I thought, it's not as good as the original. Dale went and done the original. It was very, very good. Just some iconic programmes that were made in the 90s that you look back at now and you go, wow. So you look back at it and go, wow, that was good TV back then. But now, Saturday Night Gladiators used to get millions and millions of views every single Saturday night. And this is before the internet started taking over the world and smartphones and all. Families used to gather around a TV. Even programs like Bullseye and all those programs that some younger generations look at it now and go, why were you watching this shit back in the day? But that was the type of programs that brought families together. People used to sit around the TV on a Sunday night and watch Bullseye. I used to do it with my family. I don't know, there's probably some wee trolls out there that are listening to this podcast and going, oh, Matthew, you're just a big sad fucker. Listen, that's the generation I grew up in. The more easier, simpler generation before smartphones and before people get on the internet and started being numpties online and trolling and all these social media apps and all. This is before all this, and this was simpler, good times. You know what I mean? But when I see Gladiators, now it was announced months ago that Gladiators was coming back, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to give it a chance and see exactly what it's about and see how it goes. You never know. Might turn out to be good. I hope so, because I used to love the original. Fingers crossed. We'll see. Here, that's another thing I wanted to mention as well. A lot of you guys always ask me what's my favourite movie and what's my favourite TV show and what I watch on TV when I get a chance. One of my favourite movies of all time is now bringing out another one. And I'm so happy. Now, I heard a rumour about this when I saw Mel Gibson doing one of those live Q&A things in London. And I thought, is it going to happen? Is it not going to happen? I know you're not thinking it's not Mad Max or it's not one of the other films. One of his most favourite movies I loved watching was Lethal Weapon. And a poster has been released for Lethal Weapon 5. And when I saw that, it was like, where did I actually see it? Was it Tuesday when I was out with Mum and Dad? I think it was Tuesday. I showed it to Dad and Dad was like, that's not real. Dad, apparently it's happening. Apparently it's happening, and it's Mel Gibson who's directing it, and the poster looks awesome. It's Mel Gibson, his wife, and Danny Glover, and they're all in the front of it, and obviously they look older now, but for what I've been reading online of some of the reviews and some of the previews and stuff of it is, if you've ever watched the Lethal Weapon movies, obviously Danny Glover used to always say, oh, I'm retiring, I'm too old for this shit, blah, 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 blah. He actually is too old for this shit now, so apparently these two are like retired cops, but they're going to come back and help with some case or whatever it is. I don't know what, apparently all these different rumours are going around, what it's going to entail, whatever. It's the same with any movie when it comes out. But the point is, Lethal Weapon 5 is coming out. It's like when they brought out the last Bad Boys movie, I was over the moon, and then apparently they're going to bring back another Bad Boys movie, I think it's next year. when I saw the video, Will Smith turned up at Martin Lawrence's house with the camcorder saying, we got to do it again, we're going to do it again. So, again, iconic movies from the 80s and 90s. But they always look at it this way, going, oh, but they bring back some movies sometimes and it's not as good as the original, and sometimes it is and sometimes it's not. When I went and watched the last Bad Boys movie in the cinema, I actually thought it was fucking awesome. I had a great night watching it. It's always those movies that I always just go to the cinema to watch. I don't go to the cinema that often, but I would go to watch the of a new Bond movie, or the likes of a Lethal Weapon, or a Bad Boys movie, or whatever. Some of the big movies. And if this comes out, if this is going to come out, I'll be at the cinema the first night it comes out. I'll be there watching it. I'll even pay for VIP. I'll fucking go and I'll watch it. I love it. I can't wait to see if it actually does unfold and it actually does happen, because Lethal Weapon movies are awesome. If you've never watched the Lethal Weapon movies, go and watch them. They are epic. Trust me. They are amazing movies. Some of you may think, oh, it's an 80s crap and all, we wasn't that fucking shit for it. Because I know a lot of you will do that, because I get messages all the time from people saying that they don't agree with what I watch, and say, keep your opinions to yourself. But the point is, the Lethal Weapon movies are fucking epic, and I can't wait to see the new one. So fingers crossed. It happens. Fingers crossed. So there you go. But this Gladiators thing I was just talking about there, let's see how it turns out. God, I remember those days with Gladiators at weekends. Flip me, if I was ever at a football match on a Saturday with Dad or whatever, I used to go and watch a game. I used to come home on a Saturday night and used to be sitting around the TV, and Mum and Dad would put it on about, I think it's about 5 or 6 o'clock at night on a Saturday night, and you'd have got your dinner and you'd been sitting there watching it and you were glued to the screen. So you were. I showed a few episodes off YouTube to Lewis one time, and he looked at it and went, you used to watch this? And I was like, yeah. Why? Because it was awesome. That's why. And as more and more episodes showed me, it was kind of like, it's actually quite good. It's a bit cheesy, but it's good, Dad. And I'm like, today's kids don't understand. Trust me. Anyway, that's a couple of things I wanted to talk about on the podcast today. I want to get into some of your questions now before I go on and announce Jackass of the Week this week. It's a lot of people have been sending me who you think Jackass of the Week this week should be. So thank you very much for that. But I'll get into some of your questions here, guys, from the social media pages and the email. Before I head off into the sunset and onto my weekend, and obviously leave you peace to go and enjoy your weekend. So let's get into some of your. I'll go into the email first of all, which is moorearmypodcast@yahoo.com. I'll get into some of your emails here first of all, and then I'll rough over into the social media, and then I'll do the Jackass of the Week for this week. So, right, let's get into some of the emails here. I actually forgot to open the email in my laptop. I always have my laptop mostly sitting in front of me here every week, and I forgot to actually open the emails. How stupid am I today? Like, seriously? Like, how stupid am I today? I should have had these emails open before I started recording. Oh, what am I like? Right, I've got one here from Bridget. Is it Bridget? Doesn't say where she's from, but it's just Bridget on the email. It says, hi Matthew, how are you? Congratulations on 1 year anniversary of your podcast. Just wanted to see if you could do any more segments on your show. I would have a few ideas, but I don't know why you would agree with them or not. I think you should have more segments every week on your podcast to have your audience more interested and more intrigued. What's your thoughts on this? Well, I agree with you. I totally agree with you. Yes, I've always asked the audience if you have any subjects or any segments you'd like to see me do on the podcast every week. Like, we already have Jackass of the Week. So, yeah, certainly fire them across. I'd love to hear them. Anybody out there, I've always said, you want to fire in a suggestion or a question or whatever, give them to me. I want to hear them. This is why I created this podcast, to talk to you guys and, let me hear your thoughts. I want to hear what you want to hear me talk about. I want to hear you ask me questions, or if a segment comes up that I think, that's actually quite a good thing, I might actually do that every week. Please, if you have any ideas at all, send them over. I would love to hear from you, and thanks for the well wishes on the 1 year anniversary. I do appreciate it. But yes, if you have any ideas, fire them over, and you'll get full credit for it. So thank you very much for that. That's actually a good thing. So yes, let me hear what your ideas are, because I'd love to hear from you again. Right, let's go on here and have a wee look here and see into the emails. Right, I've one here from Robert. Robert writes to me, hi Matthew, hope you're keeping well and hope your family is doing well. Just wanted to ask you how your dad's doing after his heart attack in February past. Hope he is keeping well. Only see him now and again in the vlogs, as I know you haven't been posting as many vlogs lately, but I'd love to see your mum and dad in the vlogs more often. I love your dad at Christmas time when he always dresses up. I was very disappointed last year when he didn't dress up on Christmas Day. We were all disappointed about that. Just wanted to see how he was doing. Keep up the good work with the podcast, and happy anniversary for 1 year. Keep doing what you're doing and ignore the haters. Well, thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. Dad is doing okay. He's doing alright. He's hanging in there. I keep telling him off all the time to be more healthier and stuff, and I say myself but I just say to him, Dad, just live your life more, enjoy your life more, because life's too short. You need to get out there and live your life more, because you had that wee scare in February, and you need to get out there now and enjoy your life more. But sometimes mum and dad are a bit too old school and sort of look at you and go, but they're going away here in November, early December for a week. They're off to England, and they're going to do a little bit of touring around England. They're going to go to different wee places and stuff and find new wee towns to go to and wee things to do and all, because it's mum's birthday when they're away too as well. So they're away for a week, and I said to him, go and enjoy yourselves. So, but yes, he's doing okay. He's hanging in there. So he is. I'm still trying to convince him to get on here for an interview. I want to talk to him about his life and about growing up and about his recent health scare and about different things like that. I've mentioned it to him a couple of times. I want to say it to him again, because I want to get him on here for a wee chat and just talk about him. Plus, I get to learn more about my dad as well, because Dad's a very private person sometimes, So I'd love to sit him down sometime and have a chat with him. So I'd love to get Tony on too as well. There's a lot of you have been asking me for Tony. And with the podcast being on lease now, he can pretty much say what he wants, which is good. So I'd love to get him on some night. Anyway, thanks for your email. I do appreciate it. I'll do one more email here before I move on, guys. Right, and one here from Cassie on the email. Cassie writes, Hi Matthew, how are you? Hope you and your family are keeping well. I'm a massive fan of your YouTube channel, and only recently I've came across your podcast. I never realised you'd done a podcast. I've also been keeping track of all your stuff you've been doing on YouTube for the last few years, and I must say I am very, very proud of you being a single dad on your own. It must have been tough at times, but you're getting through every single week. I love watching back some of your older videos, like for example the times you were travelling back and forward to Liverpool on the ferries. I travel on the ferry quite a bit sometimes to Scotland back and forward for my job, and I think Stena is a great service. Have you recently been on any of the new boats? Because I haven't really been watching any of your videos as the last couple of weeks because of work, but I will be catching up very, very soon. Love watching all the old videos of your kiddies growing up throughout the years, and I must say you must be very proud of them as they've grown up to be two great kids. Keep up the great work, and I'm enjoying listening to your new podcast. Well, thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. I haven't been on the stand-up boats for a while. I can't even remember the last time I was on the bloody stand-up boats, to be honest, because I've been flying quite more recently. Yeah, it's been a up and down road the last few years. Last 18 months to 2 years have been quite difficult. Just a few other personal things going on. Some of you guys probably know about it as well. Put a wee post up about it yesterday actually on Instagram. The last 18 months or so, the 2 years have been quite hard. Personally, and other wee things going on too as well. And some of you have been contacting me, asking me about it. So asked me am I doing okay, and everything's all right and stuff like that. So yeah, it's been a bit of a tough few months, but I'm trying to stay positive, as I always do. Like to say, try and stay positive and try and keep a positive mindset every day, as hard as it is sometimes. But yeah, the kids are great, and I can't really say anything bad about them. They're at that age now where it's teenage years and grumpy moods and hormones all over the place, and just teenagers. That's all it is, just teenagers. But yes, thanks for your email. But yeah, thank you for watching the videos. And no, I haven't really been on the stand-up boats recently. I do like the new boats though; they are quite good. And I was actually talking to Lewis about it a few weeks ago. I'd love to go back on them again. And then there's another person who I know who is actually a very big fan of our channel, who was the young girl who actually done a vlog on it one time. She done me a present, a custom-made wooden red Liverpool Lyrebird, which I still have to this day. It's a very close, it means a lot to me, that gift. Sophie, she is currently expecting her first baby, so a big shout out to Sophie. She loves her country and western music. She's a singer and all too as well, but she loves, I think she either works in TransLink or she works for TransLink, but she's a passion for travel. And you always hear like taking photographs of, new trains and new buses and boats and stuff like that. And there's a lot of people out there taking the piss out of that girl because of her passion, which I think is fucking disgusting. The wee girl's just living her passion. You know what I mean? And she works in transport as well. And I see some of these fucking trolls. I was actually talking to her about 2 weeks ago about it, and I was saying to her, like, listen, don't listen to them. They're arseholes. I get a lot of dogs abuse from people as well, saying that I'm, recently some people, some local wee fucking scumbags always say to me, like, Matthew Muir's on the dole, he doesn't work, he doesn't do this and that. How the fuck do these people know this? Again, this is what I talked about earlier on. Social media, people make all these accusations against people without any proof. I love it. Nowadays, I just laugh at it. But I said to Sophie, just ignore them. They're not worth it. They're just scumbags. You do what you're doing. If you're passionate about, because I watch another wee girl on YouTube from England, and she's passionate about trains, and she travels up and down all the lines, and she gives you the education of the town and the education of the trains, and and she's really switched on. And that wee girl probably gets loads of abuse too as well. Now, there's a couple of other ones out there who are a bit odd and weird, but some of them actually became quite big on social media. I came across this guy a few months ago. What's his name? Francis Bruze or something. And this wee lad has passion for trains. At first thought he's just a fucking weirdo, like he looks like a bit, but he has a passion. And at the end of the day, people might think he's weird. He does come across a bit weird sometimes, but the guy is passionate. He's so passionate. His videos are so popular that he's actually been on TV shows, on all different channels. He's been brought in to do a TV series and different things, but big time celebrities, including big football players as well, and different like singers. And this is the thing, people just love to slate people who have passion nowadays. Nobody can have a passion anymore without being criticised or mouthed off to or whatever. And I was talking to that wee girl Sophie again, said to you, and she was saying like, oh, people taking the piss, and I was like, fuck them, let them fucking run on. Look, listen, this is your passion, ignore them, let them go. I used to let the trolls get to me. See, now I couldn't give a shit. I get it all the time still now and again. Like, sometimes a wee ball bag jumps in and goes, "Hi Matthew Muir, what do you do for a living? Why aren't you vlogging at your job at all?" I'm going to take my camera into my work, really, seriously, and lose my job for you? Screw you. You know what I mean? People automatically get slated because you're a content creator. You get hammered. Well, why come I don't see your job? How come I don't see you doing this? Because there's only certain things that I put in my There's no point even trying to explain to these people. They're just a few, as I said earlier on, like Diane Abbott. They're just fucking few fries short of a Happy Meal, a few sandwiches short of a picnic. They just love the drama. They love being in there and just loving knowing everything about you, so they can try and pick something out on you. And that's why I told Sophie, just ignore them. So, but yes, if anybody there is listening to me now and you have a passion about something, do it. Screw what they think. Everybody's going to criticise what you do. Don't listen to it. But listen, back to your email. Thank you. Appreciate it. Sorry for an awful bit of a rant there. Sort of an off field there. But it's just, when I see people like that who are genuine good people and they have lovely passions in life and they don't bother anybody and they don't give anybody any trouble, and then you get these fucking assholes that come in and go, you're a weirdo, you're a fucking creep, you're this, you're that, blah, 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 blah. And you sort of go, have you any life? Seriously? No life? Yeah. Well, your fake accounts and your fake emails and your fake profiles and you're just numpties. Like, whatever. So, but yes, thank you for your email, and big shout out to Sophie as well, because I know obviously she's ready to have her first baby any week now, and I always send her a wee message every so often and say, how you doing, how's the baby, and I still have that wee present she made from which she gave me years ago, a custom made wooden Liverpool red lyrebird, and I love it to bits. I've been given so many great gifts by fans, and I keep them all. I keep everything. I've even got wee handwritten letters and all to me from people that were given to me at the very start when I started on YouTube. I still have them to this day, like wee cards and all that were made for me and all too as well. I still have them all. I keep them all. Bracelets that have been given to me as well, still kept them. People don't think, he's probably just chucked them in the bin. No. Things like that mean a lot to me. So they do. They really mean a lot to me. Anyway, let's get into Instagram. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll do 2 Instagram, 2 Facebook, and then I'll do that because I'm obviously ramping on a bit more here on the questions and answers. Right, let's go into Instagram. Let's have a look here and see. Flip me. Whoa. Guys, you're overwhelming me here with these messages. It just baffles me, and many people contact me every week. Here we go. Right, I've got one here from Denise. Denise on Instagram says, "Hi Matthew, I've been recently listening to your podcasts, and you've been giving people advice about how to set up their own podcasts. I just wanted to ask you, could you give me some advice about setting up my own podcast on gardening?" Okay, gardening. Cool. I've nowhere to start. I have no idea what to do. My partner and I are not very technically minded. You're lucky I'm able to text you a message here because I'm not very good with smartphones, and there's a happy face beside it. That's understandable. Could you possibly point us in the right direction, as we'd love to do a podcast on gardening? Thank you for reading this message. Well, yes, certainly. Do you know what I'll do? I'm looking at your message now on my phone. So what I'll do is I will save it, and I will go in to, after I record this podcast today, I will send you a message back to show you some sites to go to upload your podcast to, and how to, we'll obviously ask you a couple of questions, what you're using to record it with, etc., etc. So certainly not a problem. I've always said to people who want to contact me for help for podcasts, I'll do it, no problem. So yes, I will get in touch with you after I record this today. So no problem at all. And gardening, that's a really interesting one. It's another big subject people are actually interested in. So it is. So there, yes, certainly I will get in touch with you after I record this today. So thank you for your message. I do appreciate it. Right, moving on to another one here on Instagram. It's my good deed for the day now. So it is. I love helping people. It's great because people always help me. I always have a saying, guys, before I answer the next question. If you're in a situation where you need people to open a door for you to progress in your life, let them open the door for you. As much as it may make you feel, may get people who are very stubborn and very proud and go, no, I'll do it myself. No. If you're in a situation in your life where someone has to open a door for you to step forward in your life, always do it, because you know why? You can return the favour later on in life when you see people who are stuck or stranded and you need to open a door for them to progress in their life. Let them, you do that for them as well. Because there was a point in my life where, guys, I was homeless. I had no money, I had no job, I had nowhere to go. I wasn't even hardly seeing Bergen Lewis after my marriage ended. And I was struggling. And I was very independent. I was always stubborn. And I was always, old school, where it's like, nope, I'll do it myself. Nope, I'm stubborn, I'm doing it myself. But then I got to the point where I realised that I needed people to open a door for me to progress forward in my life for me by helping me and helping me progress in life. So now I'm at a position where people come to me like that couple and say, "Oh, Matthew, can you help me, show me how to set up a podcast?" Certainly, not a problem. I'm opening that door for them to help them do what they want to do in life. It's always about giving back, guys. And people probably listen to this and laughing. I don't care. At the end of the day, it's all about helping others, and people have helped me to where I am today. So why can't I help people in return? So just thought I'd get that out there. But anyway, that's going to do another message here on Instagram. Right, let's have a look here and see. Right, I have one here from Craig. Craig says, "Hi Matthew, how are you? I met you a few years ago at the Super Cup final in Belfast, and I just wanted to say that I love your YouTube channel. I'm a big, massive Chelsea fan, and hopefully one day I get to meet you again. And so the day I met you at the Super Cup final, it was a really nice, pleasurable experience. My dad and I met you. We got a photograph of you outside the stadium, and we just wanted to say hi again, and we love your YouTube channel. Keep up the good work." And that was from Craig. Well, not a problem at all. I don't know why I remember even meeting you that night. I probably do, because I met a lot of people at Super Cup final that night in Belfast. But yes, thank you for your message. I'm trying to remember about maybe meeting, trying to remember back when was that 2021, was it? Super Cup final when I was working on it but not working on it, if you know what I mean. I'm trying to remember. But anyway, yes, thank you for your email. I'm trying to remember, because I met loads of people that night at the game, the Super Cup final. Chelsea won the Super Cup in Belfast that time. But yeah, no problem at all, and thank you for supporting the channel. You said yourself and your dad met me, so it was obviously nice to meet you. I'm trying to remember back now. Just sometimes my memory's really, really bad. But yes, thank you for your message. I appreciate your support. And next time if I do meet you again, remind me of whereabouts I met you at the Super Cup final, because my memory sometimes blanks me. It really, really does, because I meet some people sometimes and they go, "I met you before and such," and I go, yeah, vaguely. And then there's other times I do remember certain things and they go, "Yes, I remember you," but it's just, you got to remind me. But anyway, thanks for your message. I appreciate it. I really, really do. Right, Facebook, and then I'm done. I'm moving on to Jackass of the Week. Facebook, we're on my YouTube channel. Where are you? Get you open here on my laptop. Where are you? Right, messages. Oh dear, here we go. Right, one here from Kirsty. Kirsty on Facebook says, "Hi Matthew. Just wanted to ask you a couple of questions about yoga, meditation, and de-stressing." Okay. It says here, "I'm a big fan of yoga and meditation as it helped me through my mental health. I've heard you talk on your podcast before about people with mental health issues and also your own mental health struggles back in the day. Do you ever get those days that you do get your stressful days back again with you, and how do you deal with them and how do you cope considering you went through your mental health struggles in the past? I find yoga meditation helps a lot. Would you ever consider trying yoga and meditation to see how it works for you? Let me know what you think on this." Okay. Well, how I deal with my situation is, now I'll be honest with you, I do get days where I'm literally pulling my hair out, no pun intended, but I'm going to be brutally honest and you're going to laugh at this, I tried yoga once before, and the reason why I tried it was because of my sporting injuries. My sporting injuries, I struggle a lot with today. My neck was nearly broke, cracked the vertebrae in my neck years ago. Bad back, which I'm waiting to have an op done on it recently. I'm going for a bit of a minor operation, stroke surgery on my lower back soon, which I can't wait to get done so I can get back out again, get exercising again, start getting some more weight off. And when it comes to stress and things like that, I have learnt as I've got older how to deal with certain situations. Like a younger me 20 years ago would be like stressing and, oh my God, this person's saying this about me, or blah, 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 and I'm worried about this and I'm worried about that, and sleepless nights and all. Nah, I couldn't give a shit. But to be honest with you, when it comes to meditation, now I'm going to tell you a wee story about this. When I was with Sandra at the time, she mentioned to me a load of times, she's tried meditation and she said it helps so much. I was going to give it a go, but I thought, me being stubborn, old school, pig-headed, big stubborn, big shit, going, nah, I'm not doing that for me, typical man thing, being an absolute numpty. I don't know, but then as I've read into it, and I've looked into it over the years, I've even seen like big sporting stars that I used to watch growing up as a kid doing yoga and completely changing their life, meditation to help with their mental health and how to relax and de-stress and things like that. So don't get me wrong, I mean, whenever I'm waiting to have a wee bit of a situation done with my back at the minute, and I might have to go to a chiropractor for a wee while as well to get a few aches and pains stretched out and loosened up and whatever. Once to get that there done, I wouldn't actually mind trying yoga again, because I've heard it's so good. I know a few football players in this country who actually does yoga, and they said it's so good for the soul, and meditations where you just completely like switch off from everything in the world around you and just literally relax. So to answer your question, yeah, because when I was with Sandra, she used to say to me all the time, Matthew, you should try it. It's good for you. Yoga and meditation. And I sort of at the very start looked at her and went, okay, that's old hippie crap. I'm not doing that. Not the yoga, just the meditation in general. But then as I've got to know more people who would have never thought in a million years would do it, are doing it, and I'm going, well, hang on a second here, does it actually work? So maybe one day I'll try it, but definitely with yoga, 100% I would try it, because you wouldn't believe some days the pain and agony that I'm in sometimes, and you're probably thinking, oh, he's just saying it for a sympathy vote. I'm not. I'm just being honest with you, because my neck needs re-cracked and fixed. My lower back, I'm waiting to get a wee bit of a procedure done to it, as I said. So once I get that over the hill, then I'll obviously put more exercise again. I just, as the old saying goes, I basically need rubbed out and redrawn again. So I do. So, but thank you for your message. I do appreciate it. Maybe sometime. Don't know. We'll see. Okay, I've got one here from Winston Andrews. Hello, Winston. Thank you for your message. I do appreciate it. Okay, Winston writes to me here. Hi, Matthew. I've been listening to your podcast for the last 5 to 6 months, and I must say I do enjoy it. I am from East London. A few months ago, you answered a question from a listener about their struggles and how they turned their life around after being in jail. That story really struck a nerve with me. Growing up in East London, I struggled myself getting in and out of trouble and hanging around with the wrong type of people. I ended up being in a young offender centre and also going to a young detention centre when I was 17. I did struggle quite a lot in the past, but now I've turned my life around. The story that you told on your podcast about the listener who sent you in a question really hit home for me. I have now currently changed my life around after being in jail as well for doing silly things in the past. Decisions that I do regret every single day. But when I was 22 years of age, this woman came into my life who then became my wife, was my saving grace in life. She saved my life, she was my guardian angel, and she also turned my life around for the better. When I met this lady, she came out of nowhere and completely changed my life from the first day I met her. We are now married with a 3-year-old daughter who I love and adore, and she is my motivation, my fuel in life to do better with myself every day. My decisions in the past have all been regretted, and I also have now repented myself to the Lord as I have changed my life and became a Christian recently, and now attend a local church every Sunday in London. Myself and my wife have a fantastic life now. We both work really, really hard, and our daughter is our main priority. But just when I heard that story from one of your listeners about their struggles in life, I wanted to share my story with you. Each day for me can be a struggle at times, as I do get a lot of flashbacks from the past, but I now know I'm in a better place every day, and I do enjoy my life more now than what I ever have. Unfortunately, I lost my mum last year due to an unexpected illness. My goodness me, sorry to hear that. But at least I'm happy in my mind that she saw me turn my life around for the better. And most importantly, she got to meet my wife and also my daughter. Matthew, thank you for sharing the other person's story, and I don't mind if you want to share this story with your listeners as well. Life can be cruel, but it can also be turned around. So no matter what your state of life is, things can get better. Matthew, keep up your good work. Congratulations on your 1 year of your podcast, and keep up the good work, my friend. That's Winston from East London. I think he's probably been texting on the phone because some of the words are a bit messed up, so I'm trying to read it and sort of figure out what he's trying to say. So, Winston, man, thank you so much for sharing your story. Wow, guys, this is why I love this podcast. I just want to, get a message out there that things can get better to people. I preach that to you guys, but I also try and preach it to myself too, because, I got my struggles too as well. And when I hear stories like that from Winston, it just goes to show you that no matter how bad your life can be, you can change it. Like he's just saying there, he's been in and out of detention centres and young offenders home when he went to jail as well, and now he's come out and he's met this woman and she's turned his life around, and now he's turned himself into a Christian, he's turned to God, and his life's better and he's doing well, and he's got a daughter. Winston, man, you are an absolute icon for sharing that story to me and my listeners. Thank you so much for doing that. Really, really, thank you so much for sharing your story. I'm going to send him a message back after I get off here today. Wow, seriously, you're an inspiration to people as well, because you can then, tell the younger generation who are going through a lot of bad things that you can change your life around, that you can make things better, and you can, because for a long time, guys, I even said to myself, I had all my doubts in life about, myself and how I am, and even when my marriage and all ended, I was going to myself, hang on here a wee second here. Am I good enough for anybody? Does people really want me in my life? And then when I started getting all the hate, when I first come onto YouTube as well, all the things I say, there's people really don't, because I have the City and Tuesdays podcast, I have people telling me to go and jump off bridges and go and hang myself and all that. And I always say to myself sometimes, does people really not want me around anymore? But then I look at it and I learn from my past experiences, and I've gained tools from that to try and ignore that crap and turn my life around and try and make it better. And with Winston, obviously, he's another prime example as well. with his struggles and things like that to turn it around. Winston, you're a hero, my friend. Fair play to you. And thank you for sharing your story with my listeners. It's brilliant that you can actually come forward now and do that. Guys, it's just stories like that there that really make me... And I've been saying this for a while now. You just never know who's listening to your podcast. You never know who's watching you on YouTube. You just never know who's looking at your posts on social media. From the outside looking in. You know what I mean? But Winston, thank you for sharing your story, my friend. I want to send you a message back after I got off the air here today. You're a hero in my eyes because of what you've done. And I'm sure your wife and your daughter's very, very proud of you. Because I'm sure when your wife first met you weren't in a good position or a good place in your life, but obviously now she's turned it around. She's obviously a good woman. She's stuck by you and you're now happily and you've got your wee daughter and all now. So fair play to you, my friend. And thank you for taking the time out of your day to listen to me. So, my friend, I hope someday to meet you. And listen, fair play to you. You're a hero in my eyes. Guys, I'm going to move on now here to the Jackass of the Week this week. Again, thank you for all your suggestions for the coveted prize every week, the Jackass of the Week. Now we're down to 3, but I had to give it to this person because this person's never had it before. And after their comments recently as well, it's just been like, you're a complete fucking jackass, to be honest. So it's now time for the segment that everybody loves here on the podcast. It's now time for the Moore Army Podcast Jackass of the Week segment. Ach, wee Boris. How are you? Are you hungover from celebrating the 1 year anniversary? Somebody put whiskey in your food? I'm only joking. No animal cruelty here at the Moore Army Podcast, trust me. Okay, guys. Well, as I said, I narrowed it down to 3 people, and I've come up with a solution to this to be the person for the Jackass of the Week. So the Moore Army Jackass of the Week for this week is, can I get a drum roll, please? Thank you very much. The Moore Army Podcast Jackass of the Week for this week is Diane Abbott. That's right, her. Because of her recent comments about her trial coming up or whatever she's doing at the minute, and all her recent comments in the press and her recent actions, and just the woman is completely wired to the fucking moon. So she's wired to the moon, that woman. So she's definitely the Jackass of the Week for this week. So she is. So there you go. Any more suggestions for next week, Jackass of the Week? You know how to get in touch with me. The email, the social media pages. Let me know who you think Jackass of the Week for this week is, or next week is. Sorry. Right, guys, I'm going to rock and roll and head down the road here and get this podcast out and get more of these vlogs uploaded today before I watch the Liverpool game tonight, and obviously get on my weekend. Stay tuned for the vlogs over the weekend, guys, where I'm going to be in the old Liverpool again. Going to go and see Brookside Close as well, and I'm also going to see one of my favourite comedians, Adrian Edmondson, on Monday night as well. So I got loads of vlogs coming out, loads of stuff coming out. I'm looking forward to it, guys. Stay tuned over the next couple of days. I'm going to be dropping all these vlogs. Gee whiz, man, I tell you, there's so many to get out. It's just now I've got time to do it because I'm actually finished tomorrow until next Tuesday. So I've got more time to me I've got football on Saturday, but apart from that I've more time for me to sit down and relax and edit some vlogs and chill out and have some me time. It's great. Anyway, thanks for listening today, guys. Enjoy your weekend. And I will see you back here next Tuesday for more chat about Liverpool and Brookside and Adrian Edmondson and all the adventures I'm up to over the weekend. I'll be talking to you and more. And God knows what else is going to be happening in the world between now and Tuesday. I don't know. For all I know, I might turn on the fucking TV and it could be a world war. For all I know, I don't know. Until Tuesday, guys, enjoy your weekend. I'll see you back here for another episode of the Moore Army Podcast. Thanks for listening, guys.